Imagine a town where the only sound at midnight is the wind through empty streets. Where the school bell rings, but no children run to classes. Where Main Street stores stand dark. Street lamps flicker on empty sidewalks. And a for sale sign sits lonely in front of a silent house. This isn't urban decay. This is rural America disappearing. From Pennsylvania to Kansas. From the coal towns of Appalachia to the grain fields of the Midwest. Small towns are vanishing. And with them, the promise of the American dream for generations. This is the story of what happens when Main Street becomes a memory. This is Vanishing Small Town America. Defining Small Town America. The United States has nearly 19,500 incorporated places. Cities, towns, villages. As of 2024, about 75% of them have fewer than 5,000 residents. For decades, these towns formed the backbone of America's rural identity. Close-knit communities. Local businesses. Family farms. And quiet streets. But over the past 20 years, many of these towns have entered a downward spiral. Between 2010 and 2020, rural America suffered what historians call its first absolute population decline ever. Losing nearly 290,000 people nationwide. In some counties, deaths now outnumber births. A trend that has accelerated since 2019. Small towns didn't just shrink. Some are now shells of their former selves. Some have fewer than 500 people. Some better resemble ghost towns than communities. The economic collapse. Many of these towns once thrived on factories, local businesses, farming, coal mines. Industries that fed entire counties. But decades of deindustrialization, automation, farm consolidation, and the shift to a service-based economy have hollowed out their economic base. Counties depending on single industries were hit hardest. When mines closed or factories moved, people left. In states like Texas, while some urban zones boom, dozens of rural counties continue to lose population. In just 2022 to 2023, 75 Texas counties reported population losses. That's not just numbers. That means closed schools, shuttered shops, empty churches, and crumbling town infrastructure. The demographic crisis. Rural America isn't just losing jobs. It's losing youth. From 2019 to 2023, 81% of rural counties reported more deaths than births. Younger people are leaving for cities, looking for jobs, education, and opportunity. Fewer marriages. Smaller families. Fewer children. A demographic collapse quietly unfolding. This means fewer voters. Fewer workers. Fewer taxpayers. And a shrinking base to sustain even basic public services like ambulances, schools, or local government. The exodus of young people isn't just about economics. It's about the future itself slipping away. What a dying town looks like. The result isn't just population decline. It's collapse in slow motion. Closed schools. With few children left, many rural schools and colleges are shutting down. Affecting not just education, but community identity and jobs. Empty main streets. Mom and pop stores. Pharmacies. Restaurants. Shuttered. Grocery stores close because the population no longer supports them. Local businesses vanish. Reduced services. Fewer doctors. Fewer clinics. Longer ambulance response times. Town government offices struggle to find qualified staff. Mental stress and hopelessness. Seniors left behind. Younger families gone. residents feel abandoned. The sense of community, once a pillar, erodes. In some towns, once vibrant neighborhoods now echo silence. Houses boarded up. Streets bare. Memories hanging heavy. These places are not destroyed by war or disaster, but by economics, neglect, and shifting tides. The illusion of rural rebirth. The story isn't uniformly bleak. Some rural and small-town regions have seen temporary rebounds, especially counties near metro areas or recreational zones. Between 2023 and 2024, non-metro U.S. counties grew by an estimated 134,000 residents, a 0.29% increase. Migration, not births, drove that growth. Remote work, post-COVID mobility, and lower cost of living have enticed some to relocate to affordable small towns. But for many small towns in remote regions, far from metro influences, the factors causing decline remain. Aging population, poor infrastructure, lack of jobs, shrinking tax base. These minor rebounds often mask a larger, systemic collapse. It's not growth. It's redistribution. The question remains, can these towns survive long-term? Or are they just delaying the inevitable? Helen's story. Meet Helen, a 68-year-old widow in rural Pennsylvania. Her town once had a school, a grocery store, a church. Now there's nothing. She drives 45 minutes just to reach the nearest pharmacy. She says, "This place feels like a ghost now. I'm surrounded by walls, but the people are gone." Helen represents thousands of elderly Americans who stayed behind, watching their communities fade. Unable to leave. Unable to let go. Every trip to town reminds her of what once was. The bakery where she bought birthday cakes. The hardware store run by her late husband's friend. The church where she was married. All gone. All memories now. Mike's story. Then there's Mike, 35 years old. He once worked in the town's mill. It closed in 2008. He moved to the city, but returned when rent and crime became too high. He works remote freelance. But the internet is slow. The shops don't deliver. And the roads are crumbling. He says, this half-alive town is better than being broke in the city. Mike's choice represents a new phenomenon. Young people returning not because small towns are thriving, but because cities have become unaffordable. They're choosing the least bad option. Not the American dream. Just survival. Sarah's story. And Sarah, 42 years old. She runs the only gas station for 60 miles. Business is half of what it was 20 years ago. She closes early now. The old diner next door turned into a storage unit. She told me, "It feels like we're living in slow-motion decline. We close early. We drive further. We hope for better." Sarah's story is about perseverance in the face of inevitable loss. She knows the town is dying. But she stays. Because leaving feels like betrayal. These lives show the human cost. People haven't just lost jobs. They've lost community, identity, dignity, hope. The root causes. Small-town decline isn't accidental. It's structural. Globalization and automation. Factories moved overseas. Farms consolidated. Manufacturing jobs vanished. Small towns dependent on one industry collapsed. Aging and demographic shifts. With youth outmigration and fewer births, population cannot sustain itself. Aging population equals declining workforce, rising healthcare burdens, shrinking tax revenue. Lack of investment. Infrastructure decays beyond repair. Schools, hospitals, broadband internet. Absent or underfunded. Young families won't stay. Businesses won't invest. Urban-centered growth policies. Investments pour into metro areas and Sun Belt boom towns. Rural America is increasingly ignored. Regions like West Texas High Plains, Appalachia, Mississippi Delta, many Midwestern counties are bleeding population. The result is a self-reinforcing collapse. Loss of jobs leads to people leaving. Businesses close. Services vanish. More people leave. It's a death spiral. And most of these towns can't escape it alone. The future without change. Demographers warn, if current trends continue, many small towns will vanish by 2050. Entire counties could become service deserts. No hospitals. No broadband. No schools. Communities that once defined rural America could turn into ghost towns. Visible only on maps. Homes boarded up. Fields abandoned. Cemeteries left alone. America might soon have two economies. Booming urban and suburban growth zones, and a vast territory of forgotten, dying towns. The cultural, economic, and human cost will be massive. Lost heritage. Lost identity. Lost lives. Imagine driving through America in 2050. Mile after mile of abandoned towns. Main streets frozen in time. No children playing. No shops open. No future. This isn't dystopian fiction. It's the trajectory we're on right now. What could save them? But there is still a path to survival. If America pays attention. Infrastructure and investment in rural broadband, transit, medical services, renewable energy farms. Economic diversification. Remote work hubs. Incentives for businesses to relocate. Small-town entrepreneurship support. Agricultural and resource economy reform. Fair pricing. Crop price stabilization. Small farm support rather than consolidation. Social safety nets and policies that support aging residents, mobility, retraining, and housing renovation grants. Cultural and community revitalization. Attract young families with quality of life, affordability, and modern amenities. If implemented, these can reverse decline. But denial and neglect will only speed up collapse. The solutions exist. The question is whether America has the political will to save its small towns. Or whether we'll let them disappear into history. Closing message. Small towns built America. They raised generations. They fed cities. They embodied community. Now, many are disappearing. Not in a news headline, but in silent exits. In empty schoolyards. In dark storefronts. In memories calling names of streets that no longer echo with life. This is not just about population numbers. It's about loss. Of identity. Of belonging. Of dignity. It's a warning for what happens when economics, policy, and neglect combine. If we value America's past and its future, we must not let these towns fade without a fight. Because when small towns vanish, America loses a piece of its soul. The wind still blows through Main Street. But soon, there may be no one left to hear it.